Hello, everybody, and welcome to your weekly Wargasm.
Hi, guys. This is Shane, and with me, as always, James. James, how you doing, brother?
Howdy doody.
Yeah, nice. So, guys, today we're going to continue the fun. We're going to keep this party rolling from what we had been discussing in our last episode of the Wargamer Project podcast. We are talking today about tournament transportation. I know that sounds a little weird, but we're talking today about how you transport your models safely from your home to your tournaments, to your events. I mean, in the last episode, we talked a lot about the great events that take place, and we are in the heart of tournament season here in the U.S., and we're really kicking into things. They're really rocking and rolling. So James and I wanted to just talk about some of the great ways that we've seen that are out there right now to be able to get those models that you spend tons of time painting and converting and doing all sorts of really fun, cool shit to safely to those tournaments to be able to show them off.
Well, yeah, you want to show off your hard work and you want to brag about all the cool things you've done. You don't want it to get there in like 2 and 3 pieces, which brings us to our first and rather most dangerous option for transporting your models. Now, when Shane and I first started playing, I mean, it was ghetto as hell. I mean... we were using like siding insulation and shit for magnetic shit for movement trays. But what we did when we first started, we went to like a Michael's and got like a hobby tub, you know, those like 2-handled tubs you could like slide under your bed or whatever. So I got one of those. I got an old school, like, you know, you hang it on the magnetized whiteboards that you hang on your wall, your little message board, your idea boards or whatever. I took one of those that fit the bottom of said Tupperware, and then I used my magnetized models and set them in there, which seemed like a great idea at the time because I played a lot of rats. Now, we learned how dangerous this was when one of our buddies, Nate, played some Dread Elves, had the 2 giant metal pewter hydras. Decided he wanted to magnetize those and put them into said case with all of his rank and file. Oh, they lasted 1 car ride before the Hydra just rolled around and just decimated every single one of his rank and file models. Oh, and as all of us who have done that know, it's an easy, cheap way to transport your models as long as you have nothing super large or heavy.
Well, I think he had the old school Arshan figure too, the one on the huge.
Oh, I have one of those too. That thing is heavy as shit.
Yeah, the thing that weighs like 4 pounds. And,
right.
I remember him.
You know, and those little magnetic boards are only so strong.
Yeah, because he showed up to my apartment with that thing, and he opens it up, and that thing wasn't where he had put it, and his what were they? The little guys with the crossbows. He had a whole set of them. And they were just in a billion pieces. I mean, they just exploded. And he was like, son of a bitch.
I know, and after multiple times of that happening with different models, you know, we finally graduated onto something better. Now, my favorite way to transport my army, and the one that I'm just the most familiar with, that I can speak the most of, is the Battle Foam line of products. They are one of the most well-known companies when it comes to gamers, when it comes to transporting your models. They have a whole bunch of options for their foam trays. You can get them custom laser cut out, so you can get them perfectly, you know, matched up to your army, so all of your models fit in perfectly. And then they have the different size options for the boxes. The pack series is really fun. Pack 432, pack 720, all of those are really, really, really convenient. They're easy to use, and they're simple. And I've never had an issue traveling, even via plane. I've flown back and forth from event to event because, you know, I live in New York, Shane lives in Minnesota, so there's a fair amount of traveling involved when we go to an event. I have checked this thing so many times, and all of my models have been fine. So, and I know, Shane, you used a lot of it. You used to play a lot of X-Wing as well, and you also used Battle Foam for all your X-Wing miniatures, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've got 2 of the generic pack cases, and I've picked up the customized X-Wing inserts for them. Now, I also picked up a couple of the generic inserts that I can swap out for whatever I want. Which is really nice. I mean, I am a huge fan of Battle Foam. They're a little spendy. I mean, you're gonna pay a decent amount of money for anything that's gonna be quality, but when you think about what you're transporting and what really, the amount of time that you've put into those models, you want to make sure they're going to get there on time and, get there safe. And I love the battle foam stuff. I've got one of the bigger cases that I bought that's originally set up for hordes, but I use it for my elves because the spaces are big enough for my mounted cavalry, and I absolutely love it. I mean, it's light enough that I can carry it around and not worry about giving myself a sore neck or anything. But I'm a huge fan of battle foam. I think that their company is great. The way they do their customization is awesome. The way their website is really easy to follow. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and we're going to have links for all of these in the show notes here. But I have the PAX 720, and if this is any indication, for the PAX 720, now, again, you can get the foam trays that you actually put your models in through Battle Foam custom cut. So you can get them custom cut. You can get a generic pre-cut one that just has, some of the trays will be geared more towards your rank and file. There's some that'll have bigger spots for artillery, for monsters, or also what I did is I got a set with the PAX 720 and then a bunch of different sized pluck foam trays where I pluck the foam out into the dimensions that I want, and that worked really well. Eventually I will get the better custom cut trays, but I store an entire army of rats, of vermin swarm, and warriors of the dark gods. I can put both of my armies into that one PAX 720. So there are a lot of options with battle foam, but they hold a lot of models. You can customize them however you want with the trays, and you can find them everywhere. They're going to have some sort of representation. So check out battlefoam.com and look at what they have if you're looking for any sort of troop transportation. Now, the next one we have is from Sable Designs. It's the Army Transport line. I'm not as familiar with this one as I am with Battle Foam, but I see them a lot, the Army Transport bags. I don't know, not as much as Battle Foam, but pretty close. At Adepticon, I see a lot of Army Transport. When I see people playing Malifaux, I see people bringing a lot of Army Transport. But they're a solid-looking bag, solid-looking foam trays. They're very similar in style and look to Battle Foam. So it's one of those things, if you come across Army Transport, they seem to have a lot of sales and a lot more deals than Battle Foam does, but again, they're very similar, and it's a very simple design. It's very straightforward, and again, it's the same type of pluck foam or pre-cut trays that Battle Foam does. They just don't offer as much of the customization as you would with Battle Foam.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Sable designs. I mean, like you said, especially when we're going to tournaments at like A-Kon, they were all over some of the smaller rooms. I saw those things sitting all over the place. They're a nice bag. I mean, let's be 100% honest. There's nothing bad I can say about them. But some of their new ones actually look a lot like a tactical, like a duffel bag too, which is kind of cool looking. But yeah, they're not bad in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I actually do have to say, touching on this, the design of the bag itself. Every time I walk around with my Army Builder bag, people always like, they know I'm nerding out in some way, shape, or form. You can kind of tell. But as Shane said, with the Army Transport bags, they're a little stealthier. They're a little more, it's not going to be like, hey, what's in the box? Or, it's a little, if you don't want to advertise that you're carrying around your nerdy gamer things, maybe Army Transport may be the one for you.
Yes.
Now, another option that we have is actually a brand new one that I've never heard of. It's army-case.com, or the A case. It's actually a Kickstarter for a new Army Transport box or kit, and we figured, hey, they're new. They're trying to, they're a grassroots thing trying to get their name out there. We're going to talk about it. But it actually looks like a really cool case. It looks like, at first glance, it looks like a pizza box. It really does.
Not like the box the pizza comes in, but like the carry case that the delivery drivers use.
Let's keep your pizza warm case.
Yeah.
Yes, it seriously looks like that. But you open up that case and you pull out, you put it together yourself. It's like a metal, utility toolbox that has a metal tray in the middle of it. And the standard one, the A case comes with, it's basically a shelf with a carry bag with it. And it's magnetized, so you can put your magnets on there, your magnetized units on there. It's really strong, looks really nice, really sturdy. It's made of metal, so it looks like you can beat it around, throw it around. It can take a beating, and with the magnetic case, your models should hopefully, hang around. But you can get it with a couple different tiers. It looks like you can get one with one shelf or two shelves, or up to up to three on this one. It has over here, but looks like a really, really cool way to bring your army and to transport your army, and it's pretty unique, but it is basically like a shelf in a pizza box that you can put your models in.
Yeah, it actually
I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, it looks pretty slick. They've got a little video on there that kind of shows how they're making them, which is pretty cool. We're gonna have links to their websites and stuff in the show notes and on our website. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some pretty cool stuff, I mean, and you're looking to support new companies too, like we said, they are in Kickstarter, which is always fun to look at, especially, if you're interested in supporting young, new fledgling companies trying to get into the market.
Right, and they looks like they can hold a lot of stuff. The A case, the 3 shelved version they have, the A-Case Victory, looks like it's $130, and it claims that it can store up to 300 miniatures on a 20 millimeter base. And then they have another one that's just the one big pizza box looking design that looks like it's at 190 to store up to 240 miniatures on 20 mil basis. So it looks like that you can. Totally store a whole bunch of, at least an army, if you're bringing, if you just want to bring one army to an event and you want it mostly set up. This looks like a good option to check into. Again, so that is www.army-case.com. And if you guys have any other army transport options that you want us to talk about, you can always email us at thewppodcast@gmail.com. And again, guys, army transport stuff.
Yes.
Keep your models safe. Don't bring them don't bring them ghetto style. Don't shove them in a bag. Don't put them in a cardboard box. Don't put them in a hobby box that you just has no business transporting models. Spend the money, spend the time to get a nice case to keep the things that you want to showcase in one piece when you get to your events.
In other words, go get a hobby box.
Yes, go get a hobby box, guys. And with that, this is the Wargamer Project podcast coming at you and signing off with the weekly Wargasm.
Stay frosty, everybody.